Dear students, today I am going to discuss an important poem, Our Casuarina Tree by Toru Dutt. About the poetess Torulata Datta, popularly known as Toru Dutt, was an Indian Bengali poet and translator from British India who wrote in English and French. She is among the founding figures of Indo-Anglian literature alongside Henry Louis Vivian Desrosiers, Manmohan Ghosh and Sarojini Naidu. She is known for her volumes of poetry in English, Sita, a sea gleaned in French fields, and ancient ballads and legends of Hindustan, and for a novel in French, La Journal de Mademoiselle d'Arvois. Her poems explore themes of loneliness, longing, patriotism, and nostalgia. Dutt died at the age of 21 of tuberculosis. Our Casuarina Tree by Toru Dutt celebrates her reminiscence of a happy childhood in India with her beloved siblings. It was published in her collection of poems, Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan in 1882. The tree is used as a symbolic representation of the poet's past memories and the rich tradition of Indian culture and philosophy. A prevalent idea present in Datta's poetry. In this poem, Toru Dutt celebrates the majesty of the Casuarina tree that she used to see by her window and remembers her happy childhood days spent under it and revives her memories with her beloved siblings. The themes in Our Casuarina Tree by Toru Dutt includes nostalgia, memory and attachment. The tree symbolizes the poet's childhood memories, cultural heritage, and a bridge between the past and present. In Toru Dutt's poem, Our Casuarina Tree, the tree symbolizes deep emotional ties to nature, childhood, and homeland, as well as a sense of loss and the enduring power of memory. It is a metaphor for the poet's personal history, highlighting her connection to her past and the cherished memories associated with the tree. Our Casuarina Tree is an autobiographical poem. While living abroad, she is pining for the scenes of her native land and reliving the memories of childhood. In the first part of the poem, the poet depicts the Casuarina tree trailed by a creeper vine like a huge python, winding round and round the rough trunk, sunken deep with scars. It reached to the height touching the very summit of stars. The Casuarina tree stood alone, unaccompanied in the compound. It was wearing the scarf of a creeper hung with crimson cluster of flowers among the boughs, accompanied by the bird and swarms of bees humming around. The tree is dear to the poet because it is the solo bond between the poet's past and present. When she recalls it, a chain of pleasant and poignant memories occur to her mind, and again she tastes the flavor of her childhood. In her imagination, she is again transported to the golden age and hears the same cries, laughter, and noise of her sweet departed playmate. This tree reminds of her siblings who used to play with her under itself Casuarina tree. Toru Dutt's Our Casuarina Tree explores the poet's childhood memories in India. Her description of the tree expresses her pride in the tree, for it remains strong despite the creeper winding around like a python. From her description of its appearance, she moves on to describe the activities happening around it in the next stanza. In the third stanza, she ensures that the beauty of the tree is no more than an added gift, for her real connection with the tree lies in the numerous happy memories she shared with it. In the stanza that follows, she tells how the tree manifests itself in the foreign land and she has seen it at her young age. Finally, in the concluding part, she wants to honor the tree. Therefore, she makes an attempt to write a poem. Also, she seeks love's support to preserve the tree from the affliction of time. Our Casuarina Tree by Toru Dutt is a poem of 55 lines divided into 5 stanzas. 11 lines of each stanza consist of an octave, 8 lines following the style of a sonnet that has 2 quatrains, 4 lines each, with closed rhymes and a rhyming tercet, thus making the overall rhyme scheme of the poem A, B, B, A, C, D, D, C and triple E and likely forward. The poem Our Casuarina Tree in itself is a symbolic representation of the poet's memory associated with the casuarina tree. Using the subjective pronoun in the title suggests the subjective tone of the poem. In the first stanza, the poet's description of the creeper's stronghold on the tree and the scare symbolically represent the impact of colonialism on Indian culture and philosophy. The poem uses rich imagery which represents in the description of the tree's appearance, description of dawn, and the memory of her loved ones connected with it. The metaphor used in the lines, the giant wears the scarf, trembling hope, and time and shadow, and the similes like a huge python, baboon sits statue like alone, and the water lily spring like snow in mist, that add beauty to the poem and instates the poet's feeling. Here is stanza-wise analysis of the poem. The first stanza of Our Casuarina Tree begins with the images of the tree. The poet remembers the tree being wounded by a creeper like a python. It holds was too tight for it, had left the scar on the trunk. The poet further states that no other tree would have sustained this hold, for it is too strong, but her tree did. The second stanza of Our Casuarina Tree details the experience of dawn, which delighted the poet. Every morning as she opens her window, her eyes rest on the tree and delighted, she presents the picture of the changing scene with seasons. In the third stanza, the speaker turns more subjective in the memory associated with the tree. She comments on why the tree will remain dear to her always. Besides the morning breeze, the tree reminds her of the time she played with her siblings. The tree, blended with the memory of them, gives her the images of the intense love they shared, leaving the poet in tears. The poet mourns for those departed souls as she thinks down memory lane, and she imagines that the tree shares her loss, which she hears as darts like murmur, resembling the waves breaking on a pebble beach. In the fourth stanza, the poet presents an in-depth connection with the tree, though the image of waves she takes us to a foreign land that is unknown yet well known, where the waves gently kissed the classic shore. Whenever this music of the waves touching the waves rises, it arouses the memory of the tree in front of the poet's eyes as she has seen in her youth. In the final stanza, the speaker wants to erect something in the honor of the casuarina tree for those who were beloved, who are resting in peace, loved it. She wants the tree to live long like those trees of Borodale, making a reference to Wordsworth's yew trees. Also, she makes an attempt to distinguish the trees of England from the Casuarina tree, connecting to her varying emotions. The Casuarina tree stands for nostalgia, longing, and memory, whereas the trees of England reflect her isolation. The final lines of the poem underscore the idea of a poem as a written memory. The poet seeks love to protect the tree and her poem from time's ravages. Here is some notable words and their meaning. Look at the screen. Thank you. Have a nice day.